Today, we're diving into a story that's more than just about sneakers and sportswear. It's a tale of family, rivalry, and a feud that literally split a town in two. This is the incredible history of Puma. Our story begins in a small Bavarian town in Germany called Herzogenaurach in the early 1920s. Two brothers, Rudolf and Adolf Dassler, started a shoe company in their mother's laundry room. They called it the Dassler Brothers Shoe Factory. Adolf, or Adi, was the quiet craftsman, the brains behind the innovative shoe designs. Rudolf was the extroverted salesman, the one who could sell their shoes to anyone. Together, they were a perfect team. Their business took off. They were pioneers in creating specialized athletic footwear. Their big break came during the 1936 Berlin Olympics. They managed to persuade the American track and field star, Jesse Owens, to wear their handmade spikes. When Owens won 4 gold medals, the Dassler brothers' shoes were suddenly world famous. Business boomed, and they were selling hundreds of thousands of pairs of shoes each year. But as their success grew, so did the tension between the brothers. The exact cause of their falling out is still debated today. Some say it was jealousy. Others point to political differences during World War II. A popular story tells of a moment during an Allied bomb raid. Adi and his wife climbed into a bomb shelter where Rudolf and his family were already hiding. Adi supposedly said, "The dirty bastards are back again," referring to the Allied planes. But Rudolf, paranoid and suspicious, thought Adi was talking about him and his family. The relationship was never the same. The rift became irreparable. In 1948, the brothers decided to split the company and go their separate ways. It was a bitter divorce. They divided the assets and the employees. The town of Herzogenaurach itself was divided. A river, the Aurach, ran through the town, and it became a symbolic border. Those who worked for Rudolf lived and shopped on one side, and those loyal to Adi stayed on the other. The town became known as the town of bent necks, because people would always look down at your shoes to see which side you were on before deciding to talk to you. Adi Dassler took his nickname and the first 3 letters of his surname to create his company, Adidas. Rudolf, on the other hand, initially named his new company Ruder, from the first 2 letters of his first and last names, but he quickly realized it didn't sound very athletic. So, he changed it to something that represented speed, agility, and power, Puma. And just like that, one of the fiercest rivalries in business history was born. In the beginning, Adidas had the upper hand. Adi was the master shoemaker, and he came up with the iconic 3-stripe design, which wasn't just for looks. It provided stability to the shoe. Puma, under Rudolf's leadership, fought hard to compete. Rudolf, being the marketing genius, focused heavily on sponsorships and getting athletes to wear his brand. The 1954 World Cup was a key battleground. The West German national football team was set to be outfitted by Puma. However, a dispute over payments led the team's coach to turn to Adidas instead. Adidas provided the team with innovative screw-in studs, which gave the players an advantage on the rain-soaked pitch. West Germany famously won the final, and the victory was a massive marketing win for Adidas. Rudolf was furious, but Puma would have its moments of glory. At the 1968 Olympics, Puma made headlines with the Black Power salute. 2 American sprinters, Tommy Smith and John Carlos, stood on the podium, raised their black-gloved fists, and placed their Puma suede sneakers beside them. It was a powerful political statement that brought global attention to the Puma brand. For better or worse, the rivalry wasn't just on the field, it was personal. The brothers' factories were on opposite sides of the river, their villas facing each other. They never spoke again. They competed for contracts, for athletes, for everything. One of the most famous stories involves the Brazilian football legend Pelé. The brothers had a Pelé pact, an agreement not to sign him, to avoid a bidding war. But just before the 1970 World Cup final, a Puma agent approached Pelé. In the final moments before kickoff, Pelé famously asked the referee for a moment to tie his shoes, giving the cameras a perfect, lingering close-up of his Puma sneakers. Puma had broken the pact, and the feud deepened. Rudolf Dassler passed away in 1974, and Adi died 4 years later. They were buried in the same cemetery in Herzogenaurach, but at opposite ends, as far apart as possible. The rivalry was passed down to their sons. Rudolf's son, Armin, and Adi's son, Horst, continued the bitter competition. For decades, Puma often played second fiddle to Adidas, but in the 1990s, the company started a major transformation. Under a new CEO, Johann Zet's Puma began to pivot. Instead of trying to beat Adidas and Nike at their own game in performance sports, Puma cleverly repositioned itself as a lifestyle and fashion brand. They started collaborating with fashion designers like Jill Sander and models like Christy Turlington. This move was genius. Puma became cool. Their classic sneakers, like the Puma Suede and the Clyde, became fashion staples. They blended sport and style in a way that resonated with a new generation. They were no longer just a sports brand. They were a cultural icon. This new strategy paid off. Puma's sales soared, and the brand re-established itself as a major player in the global market. They didn't abandon sports entirely, of course. They signed massive deals with stars like sprinter Usain Bolt, a perfect modern-day embodiment of the Puma cat's speed and charisma. They also made huge inroads in football, sponsoring top clubs like Manchester City and Borussia Dortmund. What about the feud? In 2009, over 60 years after the split, employees from both Puma and Adidas came together to play a friendly football match in Herzogenaurach. It was a symbolic gesture to finally bury the hatchet. The CEOs of both companies shook hands, marking a public end to one of the longest and most bitter family feuds in corporate history. Today, Puma is a global powerhouse, a testament to Rudolf Dassler's relentless ambition and the brand's ability to constantly reinvent itself. From a laundry room in a small German town to a global fashion and sports giant, Puma's story is a powerful reminder that even from the deepest divisions, something new and iconic can be born. It's a story of brotherhood, betrayal, and a legacy that continues to leap forward. Thanks so much for watching. What do you think of this crazy family history? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories behind the brands you love. See you in the next one.